What's up, gang? Carolina Jackpot checking in on Saturday morning. It's about 5:35 a.m. and I want to jump on here and video up real quick. Look at that light up above my head. Makes me kind of look like an angel, doesn't it? Okay, that's enough of that. Let's kill that. I have been much maligned in the past in my time on social media, Facebook, and the groups I'm in, sports talk groups, for the past 3 or 4 years, and just with my friends in general. As a South Carolina Gamecock fan, as you know, I'm doing a 2x2 countdown preview videos for each game of the South Carolina football season for 2017. Been much maligned for being a hater on the Clemson Tigers, on the champs, if you will. Nothing could be further from the truth. I am not a hater, and I am here today to dispel that myth, because I can talk objectively about my rival. You know, I'll cut up a little bit. You know, I'll show my funny side with things, but you know, when it comes down to business, I can actually hash out facts. And I'm here today to talk about the 2017 Clemson Tigers. I'm going to do a 2x2 breakdown of their games for the upcoming season and how I think they're going to fare out. Now, Coach Dabo Swinney's team comes in after a 14-1 season in 2007 or 16, rather. Only lost one game. Made a pretty impressive run in the college football playoffs. Those 2 games, the Ohio State game, they absolutely dominated them from start to finish. They treated Ohio State, you know, I haven't seen an Ohio State team manhandled like that, and I don't know that I ever have, to be quite honest with you. And the way they came back and took care of Bama was certainly impressive. 2017 is going to be a transition year. The best quarterback in Clemson history, arguably the best. They've had some good quarterback play there in the past, but I would think that Deshaun Watson is definitely the cream of the crop. He, in my opinion, should have probably won the Heisman Trophy last year, to be quite honest with you. And the reason I say this, yes, Lamar Jackson did put up, I wouldn't say necessarily better numbers than Deshaun. I think Deshaun's numbers may have been more meaningful. Deshaun probably threw a few more interceptions. Didn't throw for quite as many yards, but it's all about what you meant to the team, your performance in pressure situations. You know, Deshaun was winning games against Florida State. You know, Deshaun was winning games against Louisville down the stretch. You know, Lamar Jackson was losing to Kentucky. You know, Lamar Jackson's losing to Houston. Lamar Jackson was struggling to beat Virginia. Give me a break. And then you also got to look at the fact that, and you know, you can't really throw this in there if you're a voter. I wouldn't think this would be something that you could actually use as one of your criteria. But, I mean, you know, you got to kind of look at the fact that you know the kid wasn't going to be back this year to have another chance to win it. Jackson's going to have another chance to win it. So, yeah, I think it was kind of shitty. But, at any rate, they won a national championship. So how they replace him? It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. And there's Clemson fans out there that will tell you that they're not going to miss a beat at the quarterback position. And I mean, and saying that is just delusional and a little bit stupid. They are going to they're going to suffer there a little bit, especially in the first half of the season. I don't think there's going to be, you know, this drop off to where, you know, they're scoring 14 points a game and you know, struggling to hit 20 points. But at the same time, it's not going to be what you're used to seeing. Let's jump right into it full bore. You got Kent State on September the 2nd. Now, Kent State's from the MAC Conference, Mid-American. They're picked to finish 5th. That's 5th in the MAC East, not 5th overall in the conference, 5th in the East. And there's only 6 teams in that sumbitch, okay? So that pretty much tells you Kent State stands no chance against Clemson. None. 0. No chance. There is no chance that Kent State will win at Clemson on September the 2nd, okay? End of story. It's really not going to be, I don't think, a real good test for your quarterbacks and, some of the players you got taking over some of these positions. Kelly Bryant's going to get the start nod unless the incoming true freshman Hunter Johnson just absolutely blows them away in fall camp or summer camp. They call it fall camp. I call it summer camp. He don't absolutely blow them away. Dabo's going to give Bryant the start nod. That's the kind of stuff Dabo does. He lets your incumbents that's been there and paid their dues kind of get the start and nods. And I understand that, but that's what he did with Cole Stout a few years ago, and I think it cost him a couple of games, to be quite honest with you, when he started him in lieu of the then freshman Watson. I don't think that was exactly the right move, but what's done is done. And it's probably what he's going to do again this year. Bryant's probably going to start. Bryant's a hell of an athlete. He can take off and run with the ball. Had, I think, like a 65-yard touchdown run a couple of years ago against Miami. And he's only played sparingly. He's a junior. He's only played sparingly in his career at Clemson. He did get one start a couple of years ago against Syracuse, and he fumbled the ball on the first 2 drives. So, hopefully Bryant can hold on to the ball now. I'm sure he has matured quite a bit since that point in time. So I look for him to, do some decent things against Kent State. But once again, it's really not the best test that you're going to be facing. If you just look at the matchups, looking at Clemson's defensive line, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence. Christian Wilkins returning, there's All-American. Dexter Lawrence, future first-round draft pick. Cleveland Farrell, future first-round draft pick. And Cleveland just kind of came into his own the second half of the season last year. He had a tremendous game against Ohio State. What did he have, like 3 sacks against them? Bunch of tackles for loss. That kid played the game of his career so far against them. I mean, he single-handedly kind of dismantled them. But at any rate, just looking at the matchups, Kent State's offensive line versus Clemson's defensive line, that tells you all you need to know about that game. Okay, I want to see Tavion Feaster get the ball. I want to see what he can do. He's a former Mr. Football, I believe, from South Carolina from 2015. Very highly touted recruit, 5-star. And I'm interested to see what this young man from Spartanburg can do for the Tigers. I don't feel like he was really given much of a fair shake last year. Wayne Gallman got the bulk of the carries, which I don't, smart thing or not, I don't really know. But at any rate, Feaster's going to be the man this year. He's going to be the featured back. Him and C.J. Fuller from right here in Easley. He will be his backup. So I'm interested to see what the Clemson running game has in store. The receiving core we know is going to be nasty. Deion Kane comes back. Hell of an athlete. If he can keep his head screwed on straight, he can do some really great things. Ray McLeod also returning. Ray, I don't think has really materialized into what they thought he would when he came to Clemson. But I look for him to have a breakout year. I look for him to do some good things here. And this is junior season. Hunter Renfro, we all know about him. The little guy, the walk-on from the Myrtle Beach area. Touchdown pass and win the game last year in the national championship. Clutch player. Good kid. Cornell Powell, is going to see some action this year. And then you got, on top of all them, you got 5-star T. Higgins coming in from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to miss Mike Williams as much as you'd think. I think these guys are definitely going to be able to take the ball and run with it. Kent State, no chance against Clemson. I'm looking for this one to be like a 45-7 type game. Clemson may take, quarter and a half to kind of get rolling. They're breaking in a new quarterback, whichever one it's going to be, and it may take a little bit to get going. But once that train gets going in this game, they're not going to stop it. I think Feaster's going to score a couple touchdowns. I think you'll see some good stuff, like I said, from Ray and Deion Kane, and they're going to win that one easily. Next week, however, is going to be a different story. You got Auburn coming into town. Auburn picked to finish second in the SEC West behind their bitter rival Alabama. They're breaking in Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. Stidham, I don't know that much about. He's a transfer from Baylor, and supposedly is the best thing since sliced bread. They've got him picked as the second best quarterback in the SEC. How you can be picked as the second best quarterback in the SEC after you have not played a down of SEC football is beyond me. That's kind of a wait-and-see deal, in my opinion. They do have one of the best backfields in the nation coming back. Cam Petway busted onto the scene last year. Kerryon Johnson. Auburn could have 2,000-yard rushers this year. There's no doubt about that. Receiving core solid. They're solid on defense. They lost a few, especially along that defensive line, but they've got some athletes to replace them. This is going to be a tough test for Clemson, especially early in the year. With that quarterback situation still not going to be solved by then. Looking at the way it matches up, Auburn's offense against Clemson's defense, they match up pretty well. This is assuming that Stidham is as good as advertised. If he's as good as advertised, you could be in for a close game. I don't think that Clemson's going to lose this game, though. I really don't. I don't think the Tigers are going to lose to the Tigers. I don't think that Auburn is going to be able to take care of Clemson at Clemson. If this game were being played in Jordan-Hare Stadium again this year, it may be a different story, but Clemson gets 5 to 7 points in Death Valley. And I think the difference, though, is going to be that defensive line, especially in the fourth quarter. I think they're going to take over the ball game. I think they're going to stop Petway. They're going to stop that rushing game, force Auburn to go to the air, and then see if this guy can prove himself. If he can, an upset could be in the making. But I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I believe Clemson's going to go 2-0. 31-20 is going to be my prediction on that one. Clemson wins in a game that's close, that I say they salted away in the last 5 minutes of the game. That's my prediction on that one. So after 2 games, I believe Clemson's going to be 2-0. I'm not sure what time that game is. I don't know if that's a night game or if it's an afternoon, but I would definitely think that thing would be your ABC game for Saturday night, but I'm not sure. Not sure about that one. I know Death Valley will definitely be rocking for that one. So, 2-0 after 2 games. They're going to stay undefeated. Got a tough test coming up in week 3. We'll talk about that one the next time Carolina Jackpot covers Clemson football 2017. I'll check in with y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace. And I'm out. Go Gamecocks. Woo!